Hello and welcome back to Wyoming Watch from the Wyoming Tribune Eagle. I'm Noah Zahn, your state government reporter here. Earlier this week, the YMCA in Cheyenne announced it will be closing its doors for good on September 26th, which is a week from today. After the news came out, I called the president and CEO of the YMCA of Northern Colorado and Southern Wyoming, Chris Coker. The YMCA of Northern Colorado took over control of the Cheyenne location around 4 or 5 years ago when it was about to go under. However, Chris told me that the location is now losing $800,000 per year and could no longer stay open. I also spoke with Jacob Camargo, who is a Cheyenne resident that's been going to the Y for around 30 years. He said he was devastated by the news, but hopes that he can organize enough community movement to find a way to keep the local Y operational. This week on Wyoming Watch, we'll be sharing the conversations I had with Chris Coker, followed by a portion of my chat with Jacob Camargo. Here are those conversations now. Can you just tell me a bit more about how that decision was made?
Sure.
And
it was made. Yeah. It was made poorly. I mean, it's made with great regret. Mm-hmm. No, I guess I've opened about a dozen Ys in my Y career. I've never closed one. This is the first time I've ever closed a Y, and it's horrible. I mean, I'm personally not taking it well. Mm-hmm. When a community loses a Y, the community's not better off for it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the community has to always want to have the Y there, mm-hmm. and that means joining it, supporting it, doing the things that keep it open. And so we were asked by the board of directors of that Y about 4 or 5 years ago to help with that Y. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when Ys are struggling, smaller Ys join larger Ys. Mm-hmm. And so I have the group of Ys from north of Denver up through Johnstown. Yeah. And so we're 45 minutes away, like our Johnstown Y is 45 minutes away. Mm-hmm. So we could actually provide support and run up there, and if something was going wrong, and share resources and things like that. But that Y was probably 3 or 4 months from closing mm-hmm. when we took it. Yeah. And so we've been able to keep it open for years, mm-hmm. but at a certain point that Y loses about $800,000 a year. Hmm. And I can't lose all of the other Ys in my group because of the Cheyenne Y. Mm-hmm. So the community has to say it wants a Y. Yeah. And that was the first thing you mentioned, is that the community has to want to, there has to be a market there to support that. Right. Is that, specific to Cheyenne? Is that just because there's too many other competing gyms in the area or access to Fort Collins? What's your take on that? I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things I tried to ask the mayor if the city would take the Y and make it a rec center. Mm-hmm. And part of it is just, we're down here in Colorado, and Cheyenne's its own town and community. And I think that it needed to be owned and operated by a Cheyenne entity. Mm-hmm. I think it would do better under a Cheyenne entity and not a Colorado entity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that that's part of it, is that's why I thought that, for it to be its own thing, or for a local foundation or something to own it and run it either as an independent Y, but under Cheyenne. And you could say, well, it didn't do well under that also, but I don't think it's ever had the funding it needed. I think it's always bumped along the bottom of the ocean mm-hmm. a little. Yeah, and it seems not as modern as some of the other Ys that have been updated. Have the facility maintenance? Yeah, has that been a concern? I mean, obviously the pool thing around a year ago. Yeah, but we've dumped millions into that mm-hmm. from here, and I can't dump any more into it. It's just not. It's going to bankrupt all the other Ys, and mm-hmm. so I can't have that. Yeah. Well, but it's had additions over time. Okay. So 80s, 90s. I mean, some of it's from the 90s, some of it's from the 2000s, and. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we just dumped a ton of money into it over the past 4 years. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty clear in the community that the Y was in trouble when I closed the pool. And then we said out there that, hey, the community has to join. And sure, we had a bunch of joins when we fixed the pool, but nothing to write home about.
The money for that from the Maury and Bobby Brown Foundation for the pool, has that all been expended, or is that going to be returned?
And it was expended on the pool. It was for what it was for.
Yeah.
So what it did was it fixed what it was supposed to, and the Brown Foundation has been ridiculously generous, right? Mm-hmm. But they have to be sensible also about their investments. Mm-hmm. And so they can't just write a check every year for something that the community's not going to participate in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And about 30 minutes ago, I spoke with a community member who wants to start, some fundraising efforts to try to revive the Y here. Mm-hmm. And so as you were just saying, you think it needs to be run by members of its community rather than from Northern Colorado. So in your vision, if it does come back, is it best if it comes back in its own, as its own locally controlled, I guess, rather than
100%
you guys getting involved again? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we would absolutely get involved to help get the ball rolling and to provide, like software and accounting support until it's ready to stand on. So we would do that, and we offered that. Mm-hmm. We offered to run it for free during a transition, but it still has to be financially viable. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is that so far is no one has really been able to step up, or the city to say, yeah, we'll do it, we'll take it, we'll run with it.
Yeah. Do you have numbers on, what the membership, the gap and where membership needed to be from where it actually was?
Yeah, it's literally about 1,000 units of membership. I mean,
the gap or total?
The gap.
Okay. Yeah. What was the total membership there?
Oh, I don't want that.
Okay.
I can.
No, that's all right.
It's easy enough to just say it needs 1,000 more units to be viable.
Sure.
And those are family units, not. See, here's the thing: is that, for example, there's a lot of senior units, and a lot of seniors are like, "But I need that place. That's so important," and it is. But most of our senior units are what we call third-party pay. So their health insurance pays for their membership, but they pay by the swipe. So, for example, say that you were 65 years old and you had a Y membership paid by your insurance. You would, every time you swipe in, your insurance company pays us $4.
Yeah.
And so you come twice a week. We get $8 or $32 a month. Okay, it actually costs about $60. So we're getting 50 to 60%.
I see.
60 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. And so even though we have a ton of senior memberships, it's like, wow, that's helpful, but it doesn't close the gap of what we need. Mm-hmm. And so you need those memberships, the families, and the and people who can afford to pay. And it's not like we charge a lot, but we still have to. There's a saying that nonprofits have: no money, no mission. So I can't do the mission work without people, at least paying the minimums to keep the doors open.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's about all I had, just for putting together a quick story on it today. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you think is important to know for a story on this?
No, that hey, we would love for an angel to come out at the last minute and save it, and I would bend over backwards. Mm-hmm. I've never closed a Y. This is horrible. This is unfathomable to me. I mean, I've only ever opened or built or tried to save Ys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there a number that would save it from that?
Yeah. I mean, it loses $800,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So we need to earn. Mm-hmm. If I had 1,000 families joined, it would balance. right? So if there's 1,000 families in Cheyenne that say, okay, I want that Y to be here, then go join it, and it will be open. Or, have 500 families join and somebody else donates 400,000. I mean, there's math. It's just a math problem is what it boils down to. And I can't bankrupt the other 7 Ys in our association to keep Cheyenne open. That's not fair.
Personally, I think it's devastating. And that's not being dramatic or anything. I mean, it's just, like I told you previously, I've been there since I was 10 or 11, almost. So that's almost 30 years for me. I'm almost 40, so it's like, it's pretty devastating. I don't know what my next move is, gym-wise, but it's just not a selfish thing. I think this is devastating for the community. It's like, the Y's always been here, as the article said. I think it said, since 1967. One of those articles that came out the last hour, it said since 1967. I mean, it's been a staple of the community. It helps with kids, youth sports, elderly activities. Not only for me, it's devastating for the elderly people. It's devastating for kids that utilize the facility. So I don't know. I've just kind of been in the last couple hours, because it first got leaked by a Facebook post over the weekend. I'm not sure who leaked it. Yeah, so there's an anonymous post on the Cheyenne Rants and Rave page. I believe it was Friday or Saturday. That's how I caught wind of it, is a Cheyenne Rants and Raves post. And it was an anonymous person. They said, hey, the Cheyenne plans on closing around October 1st. And, I was looking at the comments, and people were saying, oh, that's fake, fake news, this and that. And so I talked to the I asked the front counter worker on Saturday after I seen that. I said, hey, have you heard anything about this? I'm not sure. I don't know if you've seen that Facebook rumor. No, that's not true. And then I had my mom call today. I said, hey, can you just call them? I'm kind of have this weird feeling. Just call them and see what they say about this Facebook rumor. And then she called them and she said, yes, we are going to be suspending operations indefinitely. And then the email went out to the members, and then that's when it started becoming more public.
Yeah. I'll have to look for that.
Post. It's tough. I've been trying to find ways. For me, the type of person that I am, it's hard for me to let go. We knew this was coming, but we still don't want to face that it's reality. We just kind of want to do what we can, maybe reach out to some donors if we can, and do what we can to help. But the thing is, when we talked before, Noah, they got a big donation to help out with the pool. So the Y always gets all these donations, the big donations, which is probably the Maury Brown Foundation. The Maury Brown Foundation always rescues the Y. They always rescue them with big donations. They bless their heart. But it's like putting a Band-Aid on a big wound. Yeah. It's only a temporary fix. So it's like, and I know this is just me kind of ranting, but ever since the Cheyenne Y has got absorbed into the Northern Colorado YMCA alliances, whatever, I feel like we haven't been a priority to them. I feel like when we weren't a part of the Northern Colorado, things were a little bit better. So I don't know. But I know that was a lot to take in, but to put it shortly, I'm pretty devastated. And I don't want it to suspend. I don't want it to close down. I don't know what my next move is personally, gym wise. these other gyms, the commercial gyms, the mainstream gyms like the Gold's Gym, Planet Fitnesses, they don't do much for me. I mean, the Y has that thing that separates itself from them, and you feel comfortable and you feel at home at the Y. So, yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah,
so,
and you're talking about how it is not just a gym, it's a community and provides services for the youth and the elderly.
Yeah, it's just not just a gym, it's more, it's everything. I mean, look at some of the stuff that's taking place, like in August, that big back-to-school event that they had at the Y, Got Your Back, the Got Your Back event.
Yeah.
They have these big events at the Y that bring together the community, and it's just, it's devastating for the community as a whole. I mean, we are the capital of the state. Most capitals have a Y, and our Y has been in dire conditions for a long time. But if you go up north, I mean, if you go to Casper, if you go to Sheridan, these YMCAs are immaculate. So I'm not sure why we have been struggling so much with our Y.
Yeah. And that gap in service that it creates by suspending its services, is that, do you have any plans of how you would seek that, or do you think some responsibility falls to the city? I mean, with all those conversations about a rec center going on for years.
You took it right out of my head. That was going to be, I mean, that falls on the rec center. I mean, not getting passed, and I mean, the Y closing is going to leave a big void for the youth, for many activities, for many community events, and this void wouldn't be that big if we had a rec center.
The last thing I'll ask you about is, whenever we spoke about the pool, you had, before that, Maury Brown Foundation made their donation to support the maintenance for their pool. You had talked about, potentially starting your own fundraising efforts. Is that something you'd consider again, or is this maybe too big of a lift if it's for the whole program?
No, I'm gonna do it again. I would like to meet with the Y, whoever the Y head is right now, and try to see what figure we're looking at. But yeah, I'm gonna get on the ball and try to do some personal funding, and maybe get a hold of the Got Your Back guys.
And now here's Taylor Staples, our arts and entertainment reporter, to bring you a roundup of some upcoming events in Cheyenne and Laramie County this week.
First up, Friday, September 19th, there's a Behind the Curtain Lunch and Learn event hosted by Cheyenne Little Theater players from noon to 1 p.m. at the library. This is your opportunity to learn more about Newsies before the show kicks off next weekend. Then on Saturday, September 20th, there's kind of a lot, so bear with me. Cheyenne Audubon members are hosting a bird watching event at the Wyoming Hereford Ranch from 9 a.m. to noon. There's also a Special Olympics Wyoming fundraiser from 9 a.m. to 12:30 that'll have law enforcement officers and more celebrating the trucking industry. The event starts at YDOT. The Cheyenne Botanic Gardens also has their annual Heirlooms and Blooms Harvest Craft Market from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the VFW Hall 4343 on South Greeley has a gun show from 9 a.m. to 5. Adults and teens are also welcome to, if they're interested, learn about the history of roller derby and get a general crash course about the rules and everything at the library from 10 a.m. to noon. Then, Cats and Coffee Connections has a pottery painting event from 1 to 3 p.m., and Cheyenne Fashion Week will lay out their runway once again this year at 6 p.m. at the Red Lion Inn. Then, on Sunday, September 21st, Cats and Coffee Connections is hosting a wood sign workshop from 1 to 3 p.m., as well as a book club meeting from 4 to 6 p.m. The book for this month was The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. Moving on to Tuesday, September 23rd, the Laramie County Community College is hosting the Laramie County Senior Center's yearly Age Well Conference, which is an open discussion and workshop talking about aging issues, research, and innovation. That event is free and open to any seniors and their families. The library also has their Tuesday night book club this month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. The book this month is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. On Wednesday, September 24th, there is a book club event for teens in grades 7 through 12, where they will bring a brown bag lunch and get ready to discuss Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. There's also a talk about building wealth in your 30s and 40s at LCCC's Pathfinder building from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And I can't forget to mention the Art Cheyenne Block Ink Press 2-Cut Lino workshop from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Lastly, on Thursday, September 25th, there's a Thankful Thursdays at the Lincoln Way Event Hall where doors open at 4 p.m. and the Wyoming Coalition for the Homeless are the nonprofit being highlighted this week. Then LCCC is hosting an Empty Bowl fundraiser from 5 to 6:30 for the VOA Northern Rockies. The library is also hosting a true crime book club discussion from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on American Demon by Daniel Stashower. And the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens is hosting an iris watercolor drawing session from 6 to 8 p.m. For a full list of events and more, go to wyomingnews.com/calendar. Prices and times are subject to change.
Finally, before we close out today, here's a quick recap of some of our top stories and headlines from the past week. An F.E. Warren Air Force Base airman was arrested Monday on a felony warrant for aggravated assault with threat of a deadly weapon. He was arrested for allegedly threatening a fellow airman with a gun over a game of beer pong at a Super Bowl party on February 9th. Witnesses say that he pulled the weapon after the airman said he looked like Diego off of Dora the Explorer. After several weeks of public hearings and discussions by county officials and boards, Laramie County Commissioners voted against the proposed Laramie Range Wind Project. The decision was made Tuesday night at the Board of County Commissioners meeting following more than 3 hours of public comment. A Cheyenne elementary school teacher charged with 16 felony counts of sexual abuse of minors was arrested Tuesday on charges of possession of child sexual abuse images. Brian Rell was arrested Tuesday on 9 counts of possession of child pornography based on child sexual abuse material that police found on his cell phone. And finally, a jury found a student accused of threatening to shoot up Cheyenne's East High School homecoming not guilty on Tuesday of felony charges of terroristic threats. Last September, Tyler Bathke was arrested after making concerning statements about having a gun, which led to a lockdown at East High School. That's all for this week's episode of Wyoming Watch. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to check back next Friday for more.